Hello everyone. So can you guys remember a while ago when I made a video entitled, Can You Be Too Liberal to Be a Christian? In which I talked about a guy called John Shelby Spong, who is an incredibly liberal Christian bishop. He advocates a movement away from prayer, objective morality, and even theism. And these are things that I had considered, at least at some point, fundamental to Christian ideology. Dare I say it, Christian identity. And like the title of that video suggested, I was basically asking, can you even consider this guy a Christian anymore? The general response was that, yeah, you can. He's a very wishy-washy Christian, but he is a Christian. Well, I've got a new challenge for you guys because I have found Christian atheism. I stumbled across this yesterday and I was like, what? It's basically a group of people who don't believe in God, but follow Christian doctrines and teachings. Let me read you the Wikipedia definition. Christian atheism is an ideology in which the God of Christianity is rejected, but the moral teachings of Jesus are followed. This just seems endlessly bizarre to me. I mean, I've got so many questions about this. First of all, I want to read a bit from the Bible to try and figure out exactly where they're coming from. So let's head straight to Leviticus chapter 20, which begins with, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying," and then the rest of it is just what God has said. So this is God speaking. This is God speaking right here. Chapter 20, verse 13. If a man... Fuck. Oh, my voice just broke. I'm becoming a man. Chapter 20, verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination, they shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. Whatever. But there are some other interesting verses here. For instance, verse 9. For every one that curseth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. He hath cursed his father or his mother, his blood shall be upon him. And what about verse 15? If a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death, and ye shall slay the beast. What did the beast do? It's not the beast's fault. So to my knowledge, this is a part of the Bible wherein God is saying that people who have sex with animals should be killed. I mean, you know, sex with animals, moral grey area, but death? Really? Come on, Yahweh. But also, more chillingly, being gay and just being an arsehole to your parents occasionally also warrants a death sentence. But I guess Christian atheists disregard all that because God said it and they don't believe in God. Which means that they are disregarding parts of the Christian holy text, the Bible, the good book, on principle. They're disregarding parts of it on principle. They're literally saying that parts of the Christian holy text are fundamentally wrong. Very strange to me. Bizarre. But since they're atheists, they can't be expected to believe in God, so let's move on to what they say they do believe in, which is the moral teachings of Jesus. So we're going to skip all the way to St. Matthew, I believe. Psalms, Proverbs, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Daniel, Amos, Obadiah. Is the book of Obadiah 1 page long? Alright, Christianity. So we finally get to the book of St. Matthew, chapter 19, which I'm going to read to you now, just the start of it. And it came to pass that when Jesus had finished these sayings, he departed from Galilee and came into the coast of Judea beyond Jordan. And great multitudes followed him, and he healed them there. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto them, Have ye not read? It's kind of bitchy. Have ye not read? Anyway, have ye not read that which made them at the beginning, made them male and female, and said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. I fucking hate reading the Bible. Jesus, was he like retarded? He's a fucknut. He can't speak. And they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. That therefore God hath joined together, let not man put asunder. They say unto him, Why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement, and to put her away? He saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginnings it was not so. And I say unto you, Whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery. And whoso marrieth her which is put away doth commit adultery. So basically he's saying, unless your spouse is cheating on you, you can't get a divorce, otherwise it's adultery. That is one of Jesus' teachings. Now I don't know how Christian atheists would approach that. Do they think that this is like truth that has been revealed to Jesus through God, and therefore can also be disregarded? Or do they literally think, well, Jesus said no divorce, so no divorce. Unless your spouse is fucking around on you. Because it doesn't seem to me like Christian atheists would all be against divorce. I can't really imagine atheists of any kind being against divorce. I mean, I'm guessing that of the Christian atheists out there, there's got to be at least some that, you know, disregarded that particular teaching of Jesus, that they think that divorce is okay. In which case, they're not following Jesus' teachings verbatim. They're not saying, Jesus said this, ergo, we have to follow it. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me like these Christian atheists, who say they're following the moral teachings of Jesus, aren't really following it that much, any more than someone would call themselves a Darwinist for, you know, following the teachings of Darwin. At least some of them have got to be like, well, Jesus said this and I really like this, but Jesus also said this, and I'm not too sure about that. If that is the entirety of your connection to the religion that you call Christianity, that's a pretty tenuous link. But I did some research. I went online, I went on Google and typed in Christian atheism, and I came up with this BBC religion section. Under the section atheism, there is a page on Christian atheism. See, BBC does everything. I love the BBC. So yeah, reading from the BBC's information pages on Christian atheism. Christian atheists want to remove what they see as the fairy tale elements of Christianity. They prefer to call this a non-realistic version of Christianity rather than Christian atheism. They say that they do believe in God, but not in a fairy tale way. To do this requires great intellectual sophistication, as you can see from the outline of non-realistic Christianity below. Just so you know, I've read the following part already. Not that sophisticated, but we'll read it anyway. So we have some bullet points under the heading Essentials of Non-Realistic Christianity. Religion is about internal spiritual experiences, and that is all. There is no world other than the material world around us. There are no beings other than the living organisms on this planet or elsewhere in the universe. There is no objective being or thing called God that exists separately from the person believing in him. There is no ultimate reality outside human minds either. We give our own lives meaning and purpose. There is nothing outside us that does it for us. God is a projection of the human mind. God is the way human beings put spiritual ideals into a poetic form that they are able to use and work with. God is simply a word that stands for our highest ideals. God talk is a language tool that enables us to talk about our highest ideals and create meaning in our lives. So they sound a little bit like atheistic Satanists who use the word Satan to refer to the parts of humanity that traditional Christianity had reviled, like lust and desire, and they use the word Satan to refer to that, and that these parts of humanity, like lust and pride, are actually good things. So when they say, "Hail Satan," they really mean, good for you, humanity. You keep on trucking. Don't let these dickheads tell you anything different. You're pretty alright. Basically, God is a metaphor. God is a metaphor. Continuing, religious stories and texts are ways in which human beings set down and work out spiritual, ethical, and fundamental meanings in life. Our religious talk is really about us and our inner selves, and the community and culture we live in. Religious language enables us to do something unique. Religious talk uses the familiar language of things that exist outside ourselves to make it easier for us to handle complex and subtle ideas. Faith, therefore, isn't belief in a God that exists outside minds. Faith is what human beings do when they pursue spiritual ideals. Saying that someone follows a particular faith is a way of talking about their attitudes to life and other people. Alrighty then, let's move on to their section on worship and prayer. If there's no God out there, it might seem pointless to go to church or to pray. Christian atheists would disagree. Worship is a beneficial activity. Worship in a group is a good way for a community to communicate with each other, share ideals and ideas, explore the meaning and purpose of their individual lives and the life of their community. And under the subheading of hymn singing and prayer, these are powerful ways for individual human beings to explore the meaning and purpose of their lives. Under the subheading liturgies, the ceremonies and rituals of the church are a powerful way of acting out the ideas that give meaning to our lives. They enable human beings to use action instead of words to explore their deepest ideas. So they're also basically saying that having ceremonial rituals is beneficial. So in total, they're saying that God doesn't exist as like a literal supernatural being. God is a word that refers to our highest ideals. God is simply a metaphor, and that all this religious talk we use is basically a way to, you know, chat about how we can better ourselves, how we can pursue spiritual ideals, and that is in inverted commas. So obviously when they say spiritual, they don't mean spiritual. This is making me giggle. But they are Christians in that they follow Christian traditions and rituals, like going to church, praying, and I guess things like Christmas. They're saying it fosters a sense of community and helps you to share your ideas and ideals with each other. But if that's the reason that they're doing it, it renders the whole Christian aspect of it fairly arbitrary, at least to me. It could be anything. It doesn't have to have Christian ideals to it. You don't have to do things in a Christian context in order to share ideals and ideas with other people and to foster a sense of community. I mean, what the hell are we doing here? I'm not a Christian. Most of the people I interact with on YouTube aren't Christians, but are we not sharing ideas and fostering at least a sense of community? Giving it a Christian context seems rather arbitrary to me. So you've got a group of people who don't believe in God, who see God as merely a word that sums up the best parts of humanity and what we aspire to be, and who only follow Christian worship traditions and rituals and ceremonies to foster a sense of community and to share ideals and ideas. And like I said, the Christian aspect of that seems rather arbitrary to me. It doesn't have to be Christian in order to do that. And like they're saying, they follow the moral teachings of Jesus, but I cannot see every Christian atheist having beef with divorce. So they're following the teachings of someone sometimes. No belief in God, only follow Jesus when it suits them, and follow the traditions of Christian worship and doctrines arbitrarily. At some point, you're just listening to some dude who lived 2,000 years ago and just occasionally saying, that kind of makes sense. Is that religion? Can we call that religion? Can we call these people Christians? I guess because I've always tried to respect people's opinions of themselves, and despite how arbitrary it is, the practices and the worship patterns and dogma that they follow is loosely Christian, at least. I guess, yes, they are Christians. But they're pretty lame Christians. I mean, if you're going to be Christian, do it right. I mean, they don't even hate gay people. I mean, if you're going to be a Christian, at least hate the gays. God damn it.